I would like to share with you guys an email chain with Apple about app monetization, which is an issue I've been struggling with for a while. As you guys know, they from my previous videos, they made me break my app into two because they don't want the users to have to sign up very early. So this made me start research into this, and eventually I contacted Apple. They got back to me. It took a couple of weeks, but I got a response from an Apple engineer. I basically laid out two options for him, and I described what I'm trying to achieve. So option one would be, let's just go down. So option one would be subscription from the beginning. So the main thing I'm trying to achieve is that I do not want to sell the app for an infinite period of time because I have server resource costs. What if after people start using the app, I find those costs are much higher than I expected, and I might want to discontinue the app altogether, or I might want to charge more, etc. When I publish the app, I can say that they can download it for $5 or so. What I really want to say is they can download it for use for a year, or they can use it for $5 each month. So I want a subscription from the start, so I don't have to offer services forever after they download the app. So this is one of my concerns, that if I sell an app which relies on server resources, and if that's not limited, if it's not time limited, then what do I do? Do I have to provide that functionality forever? Obviously, that's not an acceptable situation. Option two, daily quotas per service. Another option would be to track how many times someone comes in from the same device. Is this possible to track? Then I could say you get 10 supplement searches from this download a day. My app is a supplement search and dosing management tool. After that, you have to register and pay for a subscription. This will be an in-app purchase. For this, is there a way to track the device ID? I would need to know the same guy is coming in the 11th time and block it until he pays up. So this is a big no-no for Apple, as I found out later. Just stay tuned. I'd rather choose option one, where Apple manages the subscription, but I don't see that being possible. It looks like I can only charge them a flat rate for download and not immediately set up a subscription as they're part of buying the app. So I'm looking for a way to basically limit my pledge to provide the server resources. That's what this is all about, because my app is a server-intensive app, and I think there are a lot of other apps out there, which is why I made them immediately sign up, which is what Apple does not consider acceptable. That's why I broke the functionality into two. So let's see in this email chain what else I got from them. You would not be able to review and manage app content and service based on how many times the user uses the service on a certain device. You can only offer an in-app purchase subscription instead of an app subscription. This is a critical piece of information that the Apple engineer told me. Users would have to pay for the app or download it for free, then purchase in-app purchase based on their need. You would not be able to implement a mandatory automatic in-app purchase once a user downloaded the app. User would have to do so willingly and manually on their end. So this is a critical piece of information. This is very important, I think, for Apple. Okay, so the next thing in the email chain is I describe basically what my issue is, that I have a REST API servicing this whole thing. And I cannot provide that service free. I'm desperately searching for a business model I can be providing any aspect of this service free for an extended period of time. This is a for-pay and for-profit service. And I think a lot of us are in this situation, and Apple has been resisting a pay-only app. I think that is the issue. It's conflicting with what they want us to do. So I can't let them use the app free because I have to pay for server resources, and this is a very heavy server-centric app. I can do free trial, but not ongoing free use. So then I go into detail, what I mean. It's just I elaborate here more. So let's see, the next milestone here is that I got back, eventually I got back a response from this engineer. Okay, and he said, what you're describing cannot be achieved without in-app purchases. You can view the following Apple Development Forum posts for a better idea on how other developers handle this situation. And I did. I looked at this. So basically, he pointed me to two places. One of them is from the Apple forum. The other is from developer.apple.com, which is another Apple forum. Forcing users to buy the app every year has been a goal with various devs for some time. Apple resisted then and still does now, preferring that users either pay and go or subscribe to additional features that keep them on the hook, witnessed by this quote from the ASRGs. Apps must not force users to rate the app, review the app, download other apps, or other similar actions in order to access functionality, content, or use of the app. The solution is really to provide an app that is useful in the form that it was in when you download it. The ideas I came up with is assign a UUID when they first download the app and they connect to the server, and then that would allow them a limited number of connects, and then they would have to subscribe. But that again conflicts with Apple policies. It conflicts with Apple policies because it would block the app, and you cannot block functionality that was there when they downloaded. Another option would have been that I process the payment outside. So let's say you download an app, and I say, okay, you want to buy access to our server resources. Well, do that purchase on our server, and let's use Stripe to process it. But I contacted Revenue Cat about this, and Wesley from Revenue Cat from their support explained this and answered my question, I think, in a really clear way. We do support Stripe. However, Apple may not accept you during app review if you use Stripe for products instead of their in-app purchases. Here are their guidelines on what is accepted in terms of in-app purchases. So this is not a way to go either, because it basically goes around their fundamental policy, which is you download something, it should work in the form that the user understood when they were downloading the app. But he gave this was a very valuable piece of information for me, so you can do that. But the final the final piece of information I got from Revenue Cat was that regarding combining a download charge with an in-app purchase later on, which is what I want to do, because I want them to download the app and then I want them to purchase additional functionality. According to their documentation under Premium, Apple does say they allow for an app to be both paid and have in-app purchases. So that's a critical piece of information, because that means I can actually do what I need to do. Then from Apple's Premium doc, so I just followed the link that I was given here. From Apple's Premium doc, in this combination of the paid and freemium models, users pay to download your app and have the option to buy additional features, content, and services through in-app purchases if they want to engage more deeply. It offers the possibility of lowering the app's download price while using in-app purchases for ongoing monetization. Successful premium apps offer premium design, functionality, content, as well as advanced features intended to complement the experience. So this is my answer, really, and I think this is probably going to be the answer for a lot of ambitious, complex apps. We need to have functionality that's there, free or for a set charge, that does not rely on server resources, so we can afford providing that functionality. Because if it has to access the server all the time, we are paying for that. So we can't do that with a one-time charge. So the initial download, whatever that functionality it has, functionality cannot be blocked. It has to be stay there. It has to stay there, and for that reason, it cannot rely on ongoing server resources. And additional functionality. This is my takeaway, really. Additional functionality, I can make them have a subscription for, but it has to be legitimately outside that initial functionality. So this is my takeaway. Korna's takeaway is build app which is useful with initially downloaded functionality. Make them pay for a download or make it free depending on the app, right? You might make it freely available. You might charge some amount of money. If you charge some amount of money, make sure you cover your initial cost, and make sure you don't sell it implying any sort of ongoing server resources, because that is, I think, a monetary suicide. That is something you don't want to do. Only offer subscription for functions legitimately beyond initial functionality, and never force such subscription by blocking functionality that was there at download time. So this is my statement, this is my takeaway from all this conversation, from Apple support and from RevenueCat support. Functionality cannot disappear unless it's a clearly marked official eval period in App Store. So I mean, what I will very likely do is I have an app with a small one-time charge to download. It can generate some revenue from whatever functionality it has. It will be self-contained. It will not have any server access. And then the more complex functionality will be in addition to that functionality. So that's just the key thing is what the initial thing has to be useful in its own right. I think that is really the key thing. And if I can do that, then Apple is very likely to be willing to accept this two-tiered approach. So this is what I wanted to explain. I think this is the way to monetize apps that go beyond just being a simple little toy that have a server component. This is the way you would split them apart and separate out the two levels of functionality. I'm going to try to include these links and documentation under the video. Check there, please. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe if you like this content. Thank you.